Hello everyone and welcome to Stripe Sessions 2021. My name's Paul Harrapin and I'm Stripe's Revenue and Growth Lead here in APAC. A lot's happened since we last held sessions 18 months ago. The pandemic has without question changed how we live our daily lives, how we socialise, how we work, how we transact and how we travel. In a couple of weeks I'll be moving from Australia to Singapore, so I've been looking into all the new travel protocols. Everything from pre-departure checks to the in-flight requirements to what happens when I land. The Singapore government has done a great job creating a safe and streamlined process. And not surprisingly, I've been paying special attention to the payments part of the experience. It was remarkable that Singapore took just 2 weeks to build PaySG, a service that allows travellers like me to easily pay online for swab tests and stay at quarantine facilities. In the past, products like this could take the government many months to build. However, during the pandemic, they didn't have the luxury of time. They urgently needed a way to collect digital payments so that incoming travellers didn't have to worry about exchanging cash before they arrived in the country. Instead of building everything from scratch, they relied on platforms like Stripe to drastically reduce development time. Through their Stripe integration, the government was able to quickly create an intuitive checkout form for travellers and also an admin dashboard to monitor data. Best of all, it was delivered in an eighth of the time that it would have taken previously. And that's the power of solid online economic infrastructure. It works in the background to seamlessly make processes more efficient and businesses more productive. And often, you won't even realise it's there. Today, we're delighted to share an update on all the progress we've made here in APAC, and also give you a more insight into ambitious investments we're making. Investments that are meant to benefit each of you here today. We all know that APAC is home to over 3.6 billion people. That's more than half the world's population. Our region continues to be the largest contributor to global GDP, housing 4 of the top 10 global economies. For many companies, APAC presents a significant opportunity. And that's especially true when you dive into what's happening with the internet economy. Online commerce across the region is booming. Over the past 10 years, online sales have grown rapidly and are expected to reach nearly $4 trillion in 2024. In fact, by just 2023, online sales in APAC are projected to be greater than the rest of the world's combined. Now, despite the massive opportunity for the internet economy in such a diverse region, there's an immense amount of nuance and complexity compared to the rest of the world. Mobile remains a critical component of commerce. In contrast to Europe and North America, smartphones are the preferred devices for online buyers here in APAC. We're also seeing new channels of online commerce quickly emerging, with social commerce in particular arising as a major challenger to traditional online retailers. Live stream selling has scaled throughout the region, and millions of everyday people are using platforms like WhatsApp and Instagram to buy goods. And homegrown marketplaces like Shopee, Lazada and Rakuten continue to thrive and expand their reach. If we zoom into payments, because this is Stripe Sessions after all, we see just how important local payment methods are, most notably e-wallets and methods like FPX in Malaysia and PayNow in Singapore, which allow customers to complete transactions online using their bank credentials. Nearly half of online payments in the region happen via wallets, more than double the rest of the share of North America and Europe. In Southeast Asia alone, it's estimated that there are over 150 separate wallets. On one hand, fragmentation can be a good thing. Competition has the potential of breeding innovation and benefiting consumers. However, on the flip side, for business leaders like you, you're faced with the challenge of navigating and supporting that fragmentation, especially when you look to scale internationally. In fact, a recent survey of APAC retail leaders done in conjunction with Forrester revealed that while most plan to pursue international expansion, adopt new business models and improve customer experiences, the majority find it challenging to expand into new markets. Localization nuances, the disjointed regulatory environment, highly varied tax laws, a lack of interoperability between national payment schemes, and an increased risk of fraud all create friction for businesses to realise their international expansion goals. Where large complexity exists, however, there's an equally large opportunity for simplicity, and that's where Stripe comes in. Stripe is squarely in the infrastructure business. Great infrastructure makes your life easier and helps you grow faster when done right. It's a catalyst for your business. One of my favourite examples of this is our partnership with Mr. Yum, Australia's popular mobile ordering platform. When pubs and restaurants were forced to close their doors due to local lockdowns, they needed to rapidly adopt new ways of operating in order for the restrictions that were being lifted and being prepared for that. Many turned to providers like Mr. Yum to offer contact-free solutions for ordering food and drinks. By working with Stripe, Mr. Yum was able to scale up seamlessly, ensuring a smooth and stable payment infrastructure to handle the significant rise in transaction traffic. And when I say significant rise, Mr. Yum served nearly 1,200% more customers in January 2021 compared to the same time last year. Stripe Connect also allowed Mr. Yum to facilitate next-day payments to hospitality venues during a time when smooth cash flow was critical to pay staff and suppliers and keep local economies moving. Following its success in Australia, the team now plans to enter overseas markets like the UK and the US, and Stripe will be there every step of the way to support their rapid international growth. Across the region, Stripe's proud to be working with many homegrown organisations of all shapes and sizes, from today's fastest growing startups and SMBs like Flower Chimp, Easy Store and Cookpad, to digital-first global companies like Grab, Circles Life and Atlassian, to large traditional enterprises and governments looking to digitally transform. That's in addition to the countless global brands like Amazon, Shopify and Salesforce that trust us to help power their global growth. And as was mentioned in the keynote, Stripe was recognised as a global leader in Forrester's latest wave on merchant payment providers, being called the best fit for technology-forward payment teams. In fact, since our last sessions conference in 2019, our annual payments volume being processed here in the region has more than doubled. And we've welcomed hundreds of thousands of new local businesses onto the Stripe platform, large enterprises of today and the enterprises of tomorrow, the startups who may be tiny now, but will transform the region in years to come. It's really important to remember that our own business model is dependent upon your success. So be vocal with us. Let us know what we can do to help build up and help you go even faster. Along those lines, I'd like to pass the torch over to Noah, our business lead for APAC, to tell you more about what we're developing for you in the months ahead. Noah?
Thanks, Paul, and thanks everyone for joining us today. In early 2020, I changed roles at Stripe, moving from San Francisco to Singapore with my family. Over the last year, as borders have closed and we've been in and out of lockdowns, it's become especially apparent how seamlessly and instantly you can move data around the planet. For example, it only takes 5 seconds for us to start a high-quality video chat with our families on the other side of the globe. This ability to move data around the world has been so meaningful in both our personal and professional lives. Compared with moving data, though, moving money is not seamless, particularly here in APAC. It's really complex. This complexity leads to businesses moving slower and wasting money. So many businesses have to implement and re-implement the same logic just to accept money from their customers. That's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. The more time ambitious teams have to spend bogged down in quotidian payments drudgery, the less time they have for building the future they want to see. We are super excited about everything we have planned to reduce the time you waste on things that don't differentiate your business. So how can Stripe help? We think about 3 main vectors. First, payments performance. When someone wants to buy from you, we ensure that the transaction happens quickly, successfully, and safely. Second, global reach. We want to help you get to more customers around the world and thereby expand your business. Finally, business model flexibility. We help companies iterate and expand their business, for example, by adding a recurring revenue stream with Stripe subscriptions or becoming a platform or marketplace with Stripe Connect. First, let's talk about payments performance. We think about payments performance across the entire funnel of a payment transaction, from the checkout form to fraud prevention through to network acceptance. We literally have thousands of Stripe engineers, data scientists, risk analysts, and designers who go to absurd lengths to eke out that extra 100th of a basis point here and there. And we invest in understanding and eliminating every failure mode we can find in the payments flow. We also rely on the most advanced machine learning techniques and the massive global scale of the Stripe network to continuously improve the payments performance of our solutions. Stripe Checkout continues to be the fastest way for your customers to complete a purchase on your website or app. And for your payments teams, Checkout is also the fastest way to support more advanced features like recurring subscriptions, taxes, and hyper-local payment methods like GrabPay and FPX, or even buy now, pay later payment methods like Afterpay that are shown to increase order size. Checkout is optimized for conversion, and once you finish integrating it, you can just sit back and focus on other work while Stripe keeps shipping updates. When it comes to fraud prevention, Stripe Radar reduced fraud across the Stripe network for the 6th year running. Over the past year, Radar cut dispute rates for Stripe users by 26%, and that's without any material increase in false positives. And when it comes to network acceptance, Stripe does a lot of work that would be nearly impossible for any individual business to do. Our adaptive acceptance product led to $3.4 billion in recovered payments last year across Stripe's global user base, and we've made sure that it's optimized for each region. We know that decline behavior varies substantially across markets, so we've calibrated our model per issuer so that we can recover more for your business, regardless of your location. And yes, these features work with APAC-based networks like JCB and UnionPay. Okay, so that's what we think of as payments performance. Now I'm really excited to talk about country expansion. Today, Stripe fully supports businesses in Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. Last year, about 1 year after our launch in Malaysia, we saw half of major VC-funded Malaysian tech companies had switched to Stripe, companies like StoreHub, Damakan, and Fashion Ballet. This year, we're expanding our country coverage to include India, Indonesia, and Thailand, and we'd like to see that type of momentum in these new markets. When we go about launching in a new country, we focus on understanding the specific local commerce dynamics. We may be a global company, but we always work to feel local. In India, we recently moved the servers that store our India data to be located within the country, and we have ambitious plans to rapidly grow the size of our team there, including lots of new hires in product and engineering. In Indonesia, it's no secret that credit cards are a comparatively niche payment method, whereas bank transfers account for over 50% of the online transactions. So that's where we're starting. To give you a preview of our solutions there, I'd like to invite our country head, Anki, to give you a short demo.
Thank you, Noah, and hello, everyone. The startup ecosystem in Indonesia is booming, and we've been speaking to hundreds of exciting local tech companies that are eager to scale their businesses through Stripe. As a result of this local focus, this is the first time we are launching a market without card payments as the default payment method. As Noah mentioned, bank transfers are the most popular way to pay for online purchases in Indonesia, and with around 100 local banks, it's no wonder that this is the case. We have collaborated closely with a number of pilot users in Indonesia over the past few months to solve their pain points. Today, I'm going to show you how you can set up a subscription plan with bank transfer payments on one such pilot user, Kiskas. Kiskas is a homegrown platform that offers businesses from SMEs to enterprises the ability to build chatbots and centralize multiple chat platforms into a single dashboard. Here you can see Kiskas offers 4 different subscription plans for their customers. I'm still an early stage startup, so I'm going to select the seed plan at 750,000 rupiah or around $50 per month. And once I confirm my plan, I can choose the virtual account to pay to. Virtual accounts are what allow businesses to accept bank transfer payments from multiple banks in Indonesia without having to open a dedicated account with each bank. I'm going to choose the bank transfer with Bank PCA. And now, you can see the virtual account number that I need to make the transfer to displayed here. Kiskas can set the virtual account to be for one-time use only, or make it reusable for recurring payments. Once I have the virtual account number, I can choose the method of transfer that is easiest for me. Mobile and internet banking are of course the most convenient, but we also have the option to pay from an ATM or even a bank branch. We've heard from numerous businesses that building checkout flows to display the unique instructions of every single Indonesian bank by themselves is a huge undertaking. To solve this, Stripe offers our own hosted instruction page that Kiskas displays here. This makes integration faster and also means that Kiskas does not have to keep track of changes on the bank side to the steps. So I'm going to go ahead and use the PCA Internet Banking for my payment. After login, I will go to the relevant bank transfer page. and then enter the virtual account number provided previously. When the payment is completed, the reconciliation happens almost instantly in the backend. Here, you can see that my payment has been successfully reflected in the Stripe dashboard. We believe that B2B businesses like Kiskas are going to be particularly excited with this feature, as it reduces the friction to scale their businesses by doing away with the need for manual reconciliation of each payment. Subscriptions are key for any SaaS business like Kiskas, and with Stripe billing, it's possible to prompt a customer to make renewal payments through email. Here you see the email reminder for the next monthly payment, and if I click Pay this invoice, we will see again the Stripe hosted invoice, which allows me to review again the invoice details as well as choose the bank. And then I can follow the same steps as before. That's it from me. Hope you enjoyed that preview of our bank transfer payment experience in Indonesia. Terima kasih atas perhatian Anda semua. Semoga bermanfaat. Back to you, Noah.
Thanks, Anki. Let's talk more about local payment methods for a minute. They're so important. Remember, 45% of buyers say they won't visit your website again if you don't offer their preferred payment methods. Here in APAC, there are so many national or regional methods in the mix, and it's changing quickly. Whether FPX in Malaysia or JCB in Japan, merchants need to have the right coverage, and Stripe already supports a number of popular payment methods. Over the next year, we'll look to support over 15 additional local payment methods in the region, including UPI net banking and RuPay in India, PayNow in Singapore, bank transfers in Indonesia, and ZipPay in Australia. I'm especially excited about everything we have cooking in Japan. We recently put beta products in our customers' hands to support Konbini and Japanese bank transfers. For those of you unfamiliar with Japan's commerce landscape, let me explain why we're investing so much in a better Konbini experience. Konbini is the second most used payment method for e-commerce in Japan, amounting to 18% of transactions. Given the massive size of Japan's economy, Konbini's GMV alone is nearly equivalent to the combined GMV of all online payment methods in Australia. It's also a particularly challenging payment method for merchants to support today, as it involves ensuring customers can pay in cash at tens of thousands of convenience stores across multiple chains throughout the country. To give you a peek of our Konbini experience, I'd like to invite Daniel, our local head of product and engineering, to share a quick demo.
Hi, I'm Daniel, and I lead product for Stripe in Japan. Paying at your local Konbini, or convenience store, is one of the most popular ways to make payments for online purchases in Japan. Let me now take you through a special sneak peek of our Konbini pilot and show you just how easy it is to accept Konbini payments in Japan. Here you can see I'm about to buy a copy of High Growth Handbook, recently translated to Japanese as Bakusoku Seichou Management from our online store. I add my product to the cart and select Konbini as my preferred payment method. One of the key benefits of Konbini payments on Stripe are hosted instructions, so users don't need to worry about the nuances of building custom payment instructions for each Konbini chain. Let me go ahead and pick Family Mart, since that's closest to my home here in Tokyo. I can even choose to print these instructions at this stage. Now, we're ready to head to the Konbini and complete the payment. This is a typical Konbini here in Tokyo. There are thousands of them all over the city. Let's head on in. First, I need to key in my purchase details at one of these kiosks. I've got my payment instructions handy with me here, and I'm now going to input the transaction codes. I get a payment receipt, and now go to the counter where I hand over my cash, and in a moment, I will have my payment confirmation. Now, to head home and wait for my product to be shipped. And here's what I've been waiting for. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, Daniel. Super exciting. We've covered new countries and local payment methods. Next, let's talk about cross-border transactions. We've heard from many of you just how painful and expensive it can be to move money globally, especially in multiple settlement currencies. I'm pleased that we've now launched the ability to make payouts in US dollars to bank accounts in Singapore and Hong Kong, with Australia and India coming soon. We'll also add support for New Zealand dollar settlements in Australia. I'm going to hand things over to Manjot, our APAC PM for cross-border, to share just how easy it is to enable multi-currency settlement in your Stripe account.
Thanks, Noah. Hi, everyone. I'm Manjot. Lots of users of Stripe in APAC operate cross-border businesses. Cross-border businesses have unique challenges compared to merchants that operate domestic only. They have to navigate through complex multiple legal and financial ecosystems in order to move funds. We at Stripe have the mission to make it as painless as possible to be a cross-border merchant in today's borderless world. FX costs are a huge pain point for merchants in Singapore and Hong Kong that operate these businesses. Let's take the case of italki.
italki is an online language learning platform which connects language learners and teachers through video chat with over 5 million learners. The majority of their customers pay italki in USD, and most tutors are also paid out in USD. Without USD payouts, italki had to incur double the FX cost when converting USD to SGD and then back again to USD to pay out their tutors. These currency conversions can really eat into margins. So the ability to hold and transfer USD balances becomes crucial for italki. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to enable multi-currency settlement in your Stripe account so you can save on these costs. I'll do this through the Stripe dashboard for my own cross-border business, Manjot's amazing sticker shop, selling stickers throughout the world. My sticker shop is based in Singapore and hence has balances only in SGD. Moreover, I have a bank account for my SGD balances. In order to add a USD bank account, I simply follow the prompt here, enable this currency, enter my bank account details, confirm add bank account. For added security, I will need to check my email to verify the bank account before I can complete this step. Now that I've added USD bank account details, I can also check that USD is enabled as an additional settlement currency under my settings settlement currencies. This allows me to both settle and accept in USD and SGD into my Stripe account.
That's it from my side. Hope you enjoyed learning about our solutions for cross-border merchants. Back to you, Noah.
Thanks, Manjot. In parallel, we're also looking to make transfers of balances in British pounds and euros to Hong Kong and Singapore more seamless. This all greatly reduces the friction that cross-border businesses face managing payouts and transfers in multiple currencies and bank accounts across markets. And finally, let's talk about our third overarching priority, business model flexibility. Stripe is well known for being the payments provider of choice for tech startups and technically inclined enterprises who write code and use our APIs. Much of what these users tell me that they most appreciate about Stripe is our platform's ability to quickly and easily accommodate their changing needs. What you may not know is that we've also been making it easier for businesses to get started quickly without writing any code. With hosted invoices, you can send a branded invoice to your customers directly from your dashboard with 0 lines of code. Stripe can even send these invoices to your customers on a set schedule, for example, every month, allowing you to instantly create a basic recurring revenue model. Businesses have found this is a great way to get started with Stripe quickly, almost instantly, really. Of course, you can always automate and streamline business processes with our API later. With the recent launch of Stripe Payment Links, our no-code solutions have become even better. From your dashboard, you can now create a full payment page, customized to your brand, and generate a payment link that you can paste or embed anywhere, for example, WhatsApp or Instagram. You can even turn your payment link into a QR code, get emails when a transaction is complete, and monitor your business from our mobile apps. We want to make payments easy so you can stay focused on your product, or even just relaxing on the beach. But let's say you're a business that needs something a bit more sophisticated. For example, if you're a fast-growing SaaS company. Recurring revenue is the best kind of revenue, and Stripe Billing is here to help you launch and grow your subscriptions business. Over 100,000 businesses use Stripe Billing globally, and here in APAC, we have global enterprise brands like Atlassian using Billing's most sophisticated features to scale their enterprise B2B SaaS revenue. We also have startups that have figured out how to build recurring revenue streams in innovative and unexpected ways, like Singapore-based Style Theory's fashion subscriptions and Australia-based Sendel's shipping service subscriptions. Whatever stage, scale, or type of business you're running, Stripe Billing can help you automate and manage recurring revenue. Now, let's talk about platforms and marketplaces, one of the fastest growing business models in APAC. For years, Stripe has been a favorite choice of global platforms and marketplaces. Folks like Shopify and Deliveroo choose us because our Connect product makes it so much easier to manage payments, collect platform fees, and pay marketplace participants. And through the Connect offering, Stripe enables our platform partners to create jobs for millions of small businesses and contractors. We work with APAC-based marketplaces like Airtasker, Didi, Carousel, and Space Market to help them streamline financial operations and grow into new markets. There are so many exciting platforms using Connect in APAC to offer payments to their customers. From Audl here in Singapore to Practice Ignition in Australia to Zoho in India. But I want to call out one new Stripe user I'm particularly excited about. Leading health tech platform M3 in Japan is significantly streamlining the experience for both doctors and patients and creating a new source of revenue in the process. This is an example where Stripe, in partnership with a deeply technical, vertical-specific platform, is helping healthcare providers automate all the stuff they shouldn't have to be thinking about, payments and financial operations. I certainly don't want any of my doctors distracted thinking about payments. I think there are many exciting platforms to be built out there, and I hope we can support all of you who go about creating the next generation of these. And finally, if you're a business with offline transactions, how can Stripe help? We know how important it is to unify offline and online payments. Stripe Terminal extends your online presence into the physical world, allowing you to build customized in-person checkouts. This year, we'll continue expanding our terminal rollout in Australia and Singapore. In Singapore, popular furniture retailer Castlery switched to Stripe Terminal for their in-store payments. This allowed them to automate back-office records, speed up refunds, and get a unified view of customers across online and in-store purchases. By focusing on these three core areas, payments performance, global reach, and business model flexibility, we're confident that we can help you improve your overall business results, reach new customers, and give you more time to focus on building and growing your core business. With our ambitious plans here across APAC, we're continuing to grow our teams in the region. In both Japan and India, we've opened product and engineering offices to build more features and capabilities to meet the specific needs of the local businesses. And in our Singapore APAC hub today, we have a rapidly growing team across virtually every function, including engineering, go-to-market, legal and regulatory, partnerships, operations, treasury, and finance, and so many more. In closing, I'd like to reiterate something that we mentioned at the start. Stripe really is here to address your key challenges and be a catalyst for your growth, not just in APAC, but globally. We all have a role to play in transforming APAC's economy, and many of you here today are leading the next generation of marquee companies that will drive social and economic progress throughout the region. For those of you who are already building your businesses with Stripe, I'd like to genuinely thank you for your partnership and trust. For those of you we have not had a chance to work with yet, I hope you'll give us the opportunity to work with you. I can't wait to see what we'll build together. Thanks again for joining us today.